It's logical to ask, it's appropriate to ask, at what point do you think you'll have the list of vendors, so that Ken's question about who the vendors are, which, you know, none of the four people up here have any of that knowledge, and we understand that your knowledge is incomplete at this point, but at what point do you think there would be a list of vendors that we could look at?
Well, we have a list of vendors. We have an ongoing accounts payable listing that we could provide. What we have continued to do, as far as that list is concerned, is go through each of those items and validate them. So we want to be very sure that we are paying these bills that are appropriate, that they're for actual expenses. There are no assumptions being made here. Everyone is being contacted. We want to be very sure that any dollar that goes out of that chamber door is being spent for a valid reason.
Yeah, I want to say, actually, I don't want to know the list. I think we're all better off not knowing it. I think our city staff, from a financial accountability standpoint, should be informed of it.
Staff has the list.
Yeah, I don't want to be in a position, frankly, of having any inkling of where the taxpayers' dollars, if we enter in this transaction, to whom they are going. Because it's not, that's, I mean, my interest would be in supporting the chamber and the community council and not beyond that. I'm just saying I think it is exceedingly awkward to be in this sort of position. But again, as I say, I mean, it bothers me that we have our top manager involved and it comes up, it's not out in the open early. You know, I don't think that the people of Rancho Cordova expect us to be not seeing our bills paid and that sort of thing that's on a schedule that we should be being paid. You know, fees don't come in, but I think people want to see our city run in a business-like manner. And I do want to state I believe it is, ordinarily. You know, in this instance, it's, you know, to be almost 2 years behind on rent in our own city hall, and it comes to light, it's disconcerting.
And we have been, clearly we were sending bills to the chamber, charging them interest on the bills, showing the late payment charges, did notify, obviously, the chamber, and the board was notified that there were late payments. So it's not like they weren't getting information and we weren't following up. We were, and that's why we were kept on applying under the agreement, the rent contract, the interest and late payments, and obviously the bills.
But in the time, the problem has escalated. And so it you know, the fact that we did not jump on it early and force the issue leads us to be in a situation where it is more expensive to deal with it. You know, we are acting as if all is fine, so other people in the community are entering into transactions. You know, it's.
What makes you think we didn't know that? We knew about it from the very beginning. We've always known about it.
Can we also
We've worked on it for 18 months.
We also changed our management in the financial department. You know, we've had a lot of turnover in the financial department, and changed the management and increased our capacity in our financial department also.
But the whole time we've been sending the bills and saying you are late in payments and sending the interest. And so regardless of management, there's a long history. We've been notified, we knew, and we're trying to collect on that rent. And does
the city have a policy of eviction?
This is the first one this has came up on, so
apparently not.
Could you look in the
Beth, can you tell me about the people at Sublease?
There are currently 3 sublease tenants in the space.
And their income is?
I don't know that I have that figure here, but I want to say it's around $1,200, $1,500 a month. And they're small spaces, 3 small offices. So, and again, that was one of the points that I made in the presentation was, you know, however the city feels that needs to be dealt with, you know, we're at your discretion. Most of those leases are expired or are expiring.
About $1,200 a month from the three. Rights for housing is still on there? Are they?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, personally, I mean, I think this has been helpful, and I appreciate your coming. It's my concerns lie elsewhere, frankly. I would prefer to see, particularly with a commercial party like the Bank of Sacramento, to see if there's a way for us to restructure a loan. So instead of just paying it flat out, whatever the going interest rate, make sure that is paid so it's off everyone's back for a while. Doesn't preclude us at a future point when the economy picks up to step in again. Looking more at how, in the short run, we just safeguard the dollars we do have. If that's not feasible, that's not feasible. But right now, paying a performing loan of a sort.
You know, we could approve the request with the caveat that if there was a different arrangement worked out with the Bank of Sacramento that would reduce the amount of loan, then the amount of the loan could be adjusted.
I'd almost prefer to not pass that piece tonight and just let them go and see if they can negotiate alternative terms rather than have the record reflect the contingent approval of the full loan amount. Then they kind of just say no.
I think the intent, Councilmember, was with including this loan amount was that it's important that this chamber look forward. And with the city as our partner and, frankly, our savior, to put it bluntly, we can do that. We need to, there's been, 7-10 months of investigation going on, unraveling records, setting the course, getting everything cleaned up and straightened out and back the way it should be, focusing on the individual members. And the debt is something that we need to resolve on one level, and being able to focus our efforts in repaying a single entity such as the city makes that vision a lot easier to realize, in my opinion.
Right, but at the same time, we economically, pick up the daily paper. No one knows where the economy is headed. Municipalities are going to be challenged by this. I've got a reporter from Governing Magazine calling me today to talk about the economy as it affects cities. No one knows where we are going. So I understand your perspective. At the same time, a large commercial institution, if they are assured of 5 years of interest on their loan, if it is possible to restructure that as an alternative to a non-performing loan, then that means that a significant part of that $90,000 remains in the city's pocket to use however we need it over these next couple of years. And we're looking at how we help you work through this period. And I certainly understand the desirability of getting that particular monkey off your back. But if a commercial bank would enter into a negotiated status, and you know that for the next 4 or 5 years that will be met, that obligation as restructured, it's off your back.